So I mentioned Nikola Tesla. He's an inventor and an engineer of all different types. And he has a quote that I just love. He talks about to know the secrets of the universe, you need to look at it as vibration, frequency, and energy. And I feel like that without much squabbling, we can all pretty much agree that the last several years, I think the energy and the frequency and the vibration have been out of whack. Okay? There's a lot of things we can disagree on, but that we can agree on. Because it was a historical moment in time with these years, and I feel like there's been such a focus at one point that was fear-based on health and medical reasons and things like that. Very understandable. But I don't know that we were really paying attention and giving light, especially as this continues to unravel, as to what it's done emotionally, mentally, and socially to us, okay? It's affected all age groups. Think about the babies that were born during that time that like never got taken out. And even when they did, they never saw our face. They never saw a smile. And I don't know about you guys, but we can't go to the store and Elijah and I are like, oh, you know, the little kids and stuff, you know? So they didn't get any of that. And another homeschool mom and I were talking the other day that our kids got cheated out of this social stuff. You know, you remember the days that you'd be like, grab the phone, which by the way was attached to the wall, and you called your friend and you said, hey, I'm bored, I'm gonna ride my bike over, we'll do something. We didn't care what, we just did something. You know, and you got to call your mom at 10 o'clock and say, oh, they're ordering pizza. Can I just spend the night and you get me tomorrow? Yeah, you know. Our kids didn't get that development. So we get 4 of them together and the dad takes them bowling. He gets done throwing like a strike or a spare, I don't know. And he turns around, you know, to do some high-fiving, fist bumping, oh, that was luck, you'll never do that again, kind of stuff. They're all just staring at him. Seriously, he's like, well, okay, we're starting basic. And he had to teach them some of this kind of stuff. And even us, when we even had the background that we did, this is difficult for us sometimes. And you know, the Grinchmas, I loved that. What I saw when we played that video that Cassidy put together for us was slide after slide after slide of hugs and hugs and hugs. And I was like, yes, because you know what? We have stepped out of that fear and we have made a move to accept and embrace some of the changes. Now, there's times when you go to hug somebody, you're like, oh, I wasn't feeling good last week, air hug. You know, we're cautious, we're careful. People didn't come because they knew they were going to surgery. We gotta be conscious. But this is the thing, it's time to shift it. And I really believe that what we need to do to shift out of this energetic frequency and vibration that we were down at is to get back to our basic level of kindness to each other. That we got kind of lost because we were so contracted during that time. And it's still unraveling because kindness is just like a quality of being that you move through life in a friendly way, in a generous way, in a considerate way, doing little acts of kindness. And we were talking about it being unconditional because we don't do it to get something back, but it always feels good, doesn't it? Always get something out of it. So whether we're being kind to ourselves, to others, or the world in general, it's so important to just remember that it's like, even for us as empaths and considerate people, that not everybody has this kind of a community, how hard it is sometimes for people to step outside of that bounds. Whether it's your best friend, a coworker, somebody that checks you out all the time. You know, even Jesus in Luke says, be kind to your enemies. So whether it's your friend or your enemy, when you give acts of kindness, you are basically opening up the energy, the frequency, and the vibration. You are strengthening not only your inner relationship with the divine, but you are also opening up relationship with other people and expanding yourself. So this sounds like a great deal, right? Why aren't people doing it? Because I think, like I said, we're very fortunate, but I watch And I think that there's a couple things. I think it's that lovely word fear. People are afraid of being misunderstood, misinterpreted, being vulnerable, maybe wrong. I think that we've been kind of stunted and thwarted. We've kind of gotten out of the practice of doing it. Because I don't know about you guys, but there would be times that I'd be like walking out of the doctor's office and we're all masked and everything, like, everybody have a good day. And they'd be like, I'm like, I swear, it's not contagious with kindness. But that reaction, it's just that fear-based contraction. And I think as humans, we've suffered some trauma and drama through our lives that sometimes causes us to stereotype people, places, and things that leave us at a level of mistrust that we don't open ourselves up to, putting ourselves out there in kind ways. And I think another big point is that sometimes it's underestimated and it's dismissed how beneficial it really can be. So I go into one of the shipping places to do a return. It's not my normal place, because normally I walk into the other one, they blip my screen with a little code and I'm out of there. I get in there and all I took in was my package and my phone. I want you to know I don't ever go anywhere without my purse. There was something synchronicity with that. Now, Elijah was out in the truck with my purse and whatever, but I didn't bring it for some reason. I show the lady my thing and she goes, oh, this is gonna cost you $1. And I'm like, I left my purse in the car, it says free. She goes, I know, but we're gonna have to email it and then print it out for you. And I'm like, okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna run. So these 5 people behind me don't wanna like lynch me. So I turn, and there's a gentleman standing there, smoothing out $1. He says, use this one. Oh my God, you guys, I was so humbled, so grateful. And the thing of it is, guys, this was bigger than the buck. This was bigger than the buck. Because you know what? He was not staring at his phone, watching TikTok, or answering texts. He was present enough in the moment to know what was going on, to know what his resources were and what he could share, and save these 4 or 5 people from waiting behind me to jog out to my car and back. See the benefits of something very simple as $1 that made my day? Every time I talk about it, I feel good. Every time I share it, I feel good. This is it. This is the small acts of kindness that ripple out. So, as homeschoolers, we always try to do like an Easter egg hunt sometime at one of our park days around Easter. This particular day, this family showed up after the hunt was done. This little girl's floor dropped out of her world. She was in full-blown trauma. Unbeknownst to me, my son starts going around to other kids and saying, give me 1 egg, just 1 egg. You won't miss 1 egg. Put something in it you don't even like, I don't care. And some of us do, we put candy and little plastic rings and erasers that get sucked up in the vacuum a couple weeks later, you know. So, either way, the next thing I know, he hands her a dozen eggs and this chocolate bunny. And I'm looking at it, just so you know, sidebar, I'm looking at that chocolate bunny going, where did that come from? Because it was too big for an egg. I didn't buy it, nobody was giving them out that day. So I'm like, where'd that come from? He goes, oh, it's been in the truck. And I'm thinking, oh. Do not want to speculate how long that chocolate bunny had been in the truck, but it didn't matter. You know why? Because that little girl's world was right again, over some very simple, easy gesture. And again, all those people chipped in and were a part of it. Seriously. And I seriously doubt that she got home and went, Mom, this bunny's old. Okay, so what I want us to do is I want us to move through life, your day, your week, your month, your year, with a little bit more consciousness, with a little bit more intention. Because you know what? You have no idea when you're going to run into somebody that is doing everything they can to hold it together. That they're doing everything they can not to fall apart. And it could be a kind word, it could be letting them go in front of you, it could be like as simple as, you know, I got a cartload of stuff, hey, you got 2, go in front of me. Whatever it is, just be conscious and aware of these little things that you can do for people to possibly make their day. you know? And I think that we get caught up in, I don't know you guys, I got sticky notes, I always stick them in my finger and walk around the grocery store with a sticky note on my finger. And we're all busy and we're all 10 steps ahead, but try to be in the moment. Because you know, I think people look like they got it going on and that everything is okay until you take a few moments to sit and talk to somebody and have a conversation. And then you find out that almost everybody is still struggling in different ways at different levels. And you just never know what you can be able to do for them. Slow down and not just take the smile on their face or their nice pictures on social media as the way it really is. There's a lot more to it. So this starts with us. We have to admit and own, well, where am I? There's days I wake up and I'm like, man, I don't know what is going on. So 2 Saturdays ago, I think it was 2 Saturdays, a couple Saturdays ago, my friend texts me and says, hey, I'm going to be going to a jewelry party later on today with a few other women. We're going to be doing dried flowers and epoxy. That sounds like me, doesn't it? But I did admit to myself, I kind of need the socialization. It would be nice to hang out with some women and get some feminine energy, right? But you don't know what this is asking. That means I gotta get up. I gotta get dressed. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta shower. And then I gotta get dressed. And then I gotta leave the house on a Saturday. This is asking a lot. So I text her, she gets it, she understands. I said, hey, if I can get up underneath this rock, I'm there. And she was my cheerleader. Later on I said, I showered. Woo, she said. So I'm dressed, yeah! And I said, I'm gonna be there. And you know what? I had so much fun and enjoyed myself, and I even liked making that jewelry with epoxy and dried flowers. It was great. So admit where you're at. Forgive, don't beat yourself up, it's okay. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Marianne Williams says that until we meet the monsters in ourselves, we will keep trying to slay them in the outside world. For all the darkness in the world truly stems from the darkness in our hearts. And it is there that we do our best work. It's not about controlling any person, place, or thing around you. It's not changing any of it. It's not fixing any of it. It's how you respond. It's how you decide to fix yourself so that no matter what comes into your life, you're going to be able to be there and you're going to be able to deal with it. Now this is where my challenge is. Because you know what? You guys need to own who you really are. Do you guys know you guys are stars? I know nobody makes that kind of money. No, I'm talking about stars. I'm talking about the stars. Molecularly, you are the same molecular compounds as what the stars are made out of. And I challenge you, you have the ability to shine as bright as what they are. So right now, you are this magnificent light wrapped in skin. That's it. So the light that you seek, the light that you need, the light that you want, it is right here, right now, inside of you. You're a treasure. Jewels, gems, riches beyond anything you can ever imagine. You are a gift, and this is a gift that too many of us aren't opening the package. Now, rhetorically, I want you to think about, how did you really take what I just said in and digest? Oh, she's talking about somebody else, right? Think about that. Do you really own that and live it? Because I think that, again, that sneaky little word of fear, I think that we fear. We see the things in front of us sometimes as obstacles, whether it's the monsters or the struggles. The story we tell ourselves and how we tell that story makes a big difference. Let's look at these as opportunities for transformation. These are opportunities for us to transform into loving ourselves more, being kinder to ourselves, and then it overflows into being kinder and more loving to those around us. Now, I want to challenge you to something. All too often, we enter people, places, things, environments, and we adapt ourselves to the energy. I want you to do that. I want you to become the energy influencers, okay? Many of our speakers during the meditation have brought you through Connecting with that inner light and connecting until you're like up there in the universe somewhere and then come back. Guess what? You can do that anytime, any place, anywhere. You're offering, you're not forcing, it's without expectation, but you are drawing light from the universe, light from Mother Earth, love, all that stuff, and just sharing it, just passing it on. Now, when you're in that state, most yuck stuff doesn't really even get to you. But if you're not feeling that vibrant, you still have the right to protect yourself. There's certain stores I protect myself every time I go in them. No mention. But I think of myself in a bubble, a very nice bubble, not one that we blow with soap that pops real easily. It's a nice bubble that allows that good feeling stuff to flow in, out, and around us all the time. But anything yuck or draining or negative just bumps into that and falls to the earth for Mother Earth to regenerate. So it's an act of kindness to protect yourself as well, okay? So as I close this off, I want to talk about a story that actually Polly introduced us to in one of her talks, and it was about the monk that came in to do this class over to the chalkboard and wrote, "Everyone wants to save the world, but no one wants to help Mom do the dishes." Nobody wants to do the dirty work. Nobody wants to do that everyday stuff. But that's what I'm challenging you to do. He goes on to say, statistically, it's highly unlikely that any of us will ever have the opportunity to run into a burning orphanage and rescue an infant, right? Because that's what makes it, no? But the smallest, kindest gestures, a warm smile, holding the door for the people behind you, shoveling somebody's driveway nearby, elderly or not, can be anything. You have then committed an act of immeasurable kindness, because this is our lives, our worlds, our universe, and you have the ability to touch people's lives that way. So, connecting with your divine, owning who you really are, living from that place of kindness with consciousness and with intention, looking for places to be kind. This is what I hope and wish for you today and moving into this new year, that your smallest acts of kindness make you a part of changing the world.